Online at TechTimeRadio.com.
With the new year coming in quick, let's take a minute to talk about New Year's resolution.
Perfect. What are some of yours, Nate?
Well, for me, the biggest thing is going to be losing weight and taking better care of myself. One of the biggest challenges, and that is to quit smoking. If you're looking to quit smoking, we've discovered a new product called Nin pouches, which are exactly 100% tobacco free.
100% tobacco free, huh? How does that work? And how do those help you quit smoking?
Unlike other nicotine pouches, which are made from generic tobacco-derived nicotine, Nin pouches are made of 100% tobacco-free nicotine. Also, they're smoke-free, non-combustible, discreet, and simple. In other words, they help you provide the nicotine buzz you crave without any smoke or harmful tobacco components.
Ah, I get it. So let's say you're at the gym with the kids or out in public and can't smoke a cigarette. That's where Nin pouches come in, huh?
Exactly, Mike. Plus, they taste great and are available in 2 nicotine strengths, 3 milligrams and 6 milligrams, in 5 unique flavors: cinnamon, citrus, chill, cool mint, spearmint, and wintergreen.
That's awesome. That sounds like they provide a great solution for those looking to quit smoking. I actually have a few buddies I could recommend these to. What's the website?
I've actually got the website pulled up right here. Pretty snazzy looking site, if I say so myself. It is www.ninpouches.com. That's www.ninpouches.com. You can shop the whole selection of Nin pouches here and enjoy fast free shipping on all orders above $40.
Perfect. That sounds awesome. I'd even try to get some of those myself.
Hey, you do you, Mike. Be sure to use our exclusive coupon code when you do that, though, at TechTime20 to save 20% off your entire order of Nin pouches. Again, that's TechTime20 to save 20% off your entire order. Just visit www.ninpouches.com. That's NIIN pouches.com to shop all of your selection. And tell them Nathan sent you.
Perkies, the best backless bras and undies in the game. Rosie, the 25-year-old female founder, had enough subpar experiences with sticky bras and decided to create a better one. For those who don't know what those are, they're backless, strapless bras that stick directly to a woman's breast to give shape and support without the straps showing. Current sticky bras lose their stick after a few wears, get dirty easily, and all too often fall off when you least expect it. This is why Rosie created the only sticky bra on the market with replacement adhesives. Clean, confident, and comfortable. Perkies is the future of sticky bras. Since the launch, Perkies has added reusable covers, 3 shades of nude, and Perkies panties. Seamless underwear, the softest underwear in the game, to its line. Whether it's a wedding, cocktail party, a date night, you name it, your top will typically require a non-traditional bra. And this is why Perkies has you covered. Check out these Perkies products on Perkies.com. That's PERKIES.com. Perkies.com.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Do you know the average person can sweat 463 pints per year?
Oh, that's gross. But I've totally been there, wiping my sweaty palms on my pants before shaking hands.
I can remember standing in front of a group of people about to do a large presentation and looking down and seeing those sweaty pits. Man, that is the worst.
Did you know that deodorants do nothing for sweat control? It's like putting a scented candle in your pits. And we just don't sweat under the arms.
That's right. We don't. We sweat all over. Yeah, that's what's cool about Carpe. They have not only created a revolutionary underarm antiperspirant, a lotion loaded with sweat control, Carpe also has a full line of sweat care for everywhere.
Founded by 2 guys who had sweaty palms their whole lives, Carpe was created with dermatologists and people actually diagnosed as excessive sweaters. So you know it works. Whether you want to avoid a sweaty brow, underarm stain, smelly feet, below the belt sweat, Carpe has a solution.
They sure do. And they have a full no question asked money back guarantee for the first 60 days. Not 30 days, but 60 days. Find their full line at mycarpe.com.
That's mycarpe.com, mycarpe.com. And for a limited time, use the code TechTime to save 15% on your first order. From now on, we will only sweat in the gym.
Life can get sweaty, but Carpe keeps you dry. Visit them at mycarpe.com.
Coming to you from the shores of the Pacific Northwest, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side. with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology news of the week, the show for the everyday common person with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. I'm Nathan, and welcome to our show as we live stream in studio Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and of course our home radio station, KKNW 1150 AM. If you're not listening or watching our show on Saturday afternoons, then you're listening and watching a rebroadcast. So make sure to visit www.techtimeradio.com to keep up on all the latest information. So that means if you are watching us Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, not 4 to 6 p.m., and on Sunday, you are catching a rebroadcast. Tech Time is a weekly 2-hour technology show that talks about current technology in a simple format without having to geek out. Where do you go for all of your Tech Time information? Of course, techtimeradio.com, and you can watch our streams, sign up for our newsletter, listen and watch our archives, purchase merchandise, and bid on our NFTs. We're going to be talking about NFTs on today's show, and even ask us technology questions that we could talk about on the show. Now is the time to engage us on twitch.tv/TechTimeShow, and you can interact with our stream or send us a tweet at #TechTime. You can also call us at 425-373-5527 or 188-298-KKNW, which is 188-298-5569, and be part of the show. We're going to have some, hopefully, callers in today, so it's a great opportunity now if you want to ask us questions during the second hour of our show to call us right now at 425-373-5527. All right, David, let's officially start our show.
Now on today's show.
Today on Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, we look at the first submarine to use new stealth technology 2.0 and what happened to Amazon's web service Outage, bringing companies and operations to a standstill this week. We also discovered an issue with Google's OAuth, which is an authenticating process for those multi-factor tools that you have on your phone. Essentially, it has been corrupted and can be breached. We're going to be talking about that with some of our security expert. Specifically, Nick Espinoza is joining us from Security Fanatics, and so we're going to be talking about that. And then we're going to be taking a look at Ubisoft's NFT. Ubisoft is releasing NFTs for their video game, and what a failure. We're going to be talking about what they are doing incorrectly on the NFTs. We also have top Excel experts. Do you know this? Top Excel experts. Yes, Microsoft Excel will battle it out in an esports-like competition this weekend. You know all those accounting nerds that you may know? This is for them as they have a full active competition to see who is great with Excel. We'll be talking about that.
Sounds like they're ready to rumble.
That's right. And finally, we have our pick of the day, Whiskey Tastings. Nathan's Nugget is going to be brought to us by Story Coffee, and all of that's in the first hour. On our second hour, we have Tech Time's 2021 Holiday Gift Guide, the best technology items for your Christmas wish list and open phone calls. We have a Technology Insider with items you need to do before the end of the year. And finally, we will have This Week in Technology segment and a few breakout new articles. Welcome to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, technology news for December 11th through the 17th, 2021. Now it's time to welcome my co-host. Now, my co-host should be Mr. Gourdet,
but
Mike Gourdet is on his honeymoon still.
Congratulations, Mike, by the way. Yay, good job.
Good
Woo,
job.
cut.
Congratulations. Mr. Gourdet is on his honeymoon. Last week we were both not on the show because I was actually his best man in his wedding. So I got to do a speech about him, which was pretty exciting. And so this week we have brought in a special guest. His name is Corey Williams, and Corey and I met about a year ago. He had a product called Vivomi the Pulse, and now he is the CEO, founder of PrizeBox. We had him in here, was it 2 weeks ago? I think it was 2 weeks ago for an interview. And so since I was last minute running around trying to get a host, we decided to have him on the show. So he is going to be helping us today through all of our segments and everything we do. Now, Corey, What we start the show with is we always start it with our loaded question of the week, brought to us by Elderberry Boost. Get your Elderberry Boost today at elderberry-boost.com. And here is our loaded question for you. What is something you always do incorrectly?
Oh, man. Now, if my wife was sitting here, she would be the better person to answer this question. But I would say that I do pretty much everything wrong when it comes to the kitchen. I'm not a really great cook, a bake. They have different things that they do in there. I am not that good.
Okay.
So I'm really bad at baking things.
Really bad at baking things.
Yeah.
How about a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Can you do a pretty killer one of those?
I'm told I do that wrong because I put too much on it.
You put too much on it?
But that's still, I mean.
So food things are okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm not going to say what I do incorrectly because I have a huge list of things that I would probably do incorrectly after being married for almost 30 years. So, all right. So, well, welcome to our show. So this is going to be fun. Jump in at any time.
Sure.
So that you have, Mr. Gourdet likes to take shots at me. So I want to make sure you feel the same opportunity. If there's a little jab you can do, absolutely.
And please do, because that's part of the show. Please do.
That's right. Okay. And David, I'm so glad to be back in the studio with you guys. I missed you guys last week. I was actually listening and streaming some of you guys as I was doing that too. But that's great.
At the reception from what we heard.
Yes, absolutely. Because you know what? Everybody wants to listen to TechTime Radio. All right. Well, Corey, as we have our whiskey tastings during the commercials, we've selected a whiskey today, which is our Warrior Sugar Baby Bourbon. We will taste this during the segments, and when we come on back, we'll talk a little bit about it. We'll give it like thumbs up, thumbs down at the very end of the show. So you're going to sip that. So I'll help you through that. Help you through that process. We'll see if it's a 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up in our pick of the day. Now, let's get our episode started with our first segment, which we call Top Stories in the First 5 Minutes. This brings you the top technology stories everyone will be talking about for weeks to come within the first 5 minutes of the show.
What's happening in the world of technology? This is our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
All right, welcome to Top Stories in the First 5 Minutes. Story number 1. Amazon Web Service outage brings some delivery operations to a standstill. Let's listen to our ABC correspondent specifically on the Amazon outage.
That massive Amazon server outage temporarily crippling some of the world's most popular online services. Those outages apparently affecting streaming services like Netflix, Roku, and Disney Plus, owned by the parent company of ABC, but also airlines like Southwest and Delta, even McDonald's and the video game company behind Fortnite.
All right, so Amazon Web Services. Now,
this was bigger than just that, though.
It was. So now your software, PrizeBox, is a cloud-based service app, right?
Correct.
Okay, so this outage was huge. This hit the delivery services of Amazon to the point where they couldn't even deliver packages for up to 8 hours during this outage, and they're now
that's a major issue.
And that's like 2 days behind now. So with the holiday season, they're 2 days behind.
Well, it hit also schools, and my kids do remote learning and things, and so it was definitely...
Yeah, it hit the university too. My daughter was getting ready for finals last week, and then all of a sudden she couldn't access the Canvas page. I'm like, perfect timing for that.
Exactly.
So it was the U.S. East 1 region server outage that was happening. The outage brought down popular service also like Disney Plus, Coinbase, which is again a big deal for NFT, or not for NFTs, but for cryptocurrencies. With critical tools, Amazon was not able to have things working. Now it's very interesting because Larry Ellison, big Oracle guy, right? So he's like the creator of Oracle. Larry Ellison immediately came on out and said Oracle's cloud services boasted that it has never, ever gone down after Amazon's crippling AWS outage.
Wow.
Now, I looked to see, I'm like, okay, come on, Oracle. I'm sure you're probably down. And I cannot find anywhere that I looked any outages ever that has been a part of Oracle's cloud
Have you ever heard of them in the headlines for anything like that? I don't think I can remember it.
And so, you know what? So I went back and I was looking and I'm looking. So I actually believe they may actually have a cloud service. He didn't get into tons of details. He was just kind of poking fun of Amazon. But this is really big because people rely on Amazon services, right?
More and more.
Netflix was down. Disney Plus was down. All these large companies that use this. And essentially, Amazon just says, yeah, we're sorry. and nothing happens, and essentially you're dependent upon those services, I guess you just go down with them too and say, sorry, Amazon's down.
Yeah, that's one of the struggles that they have with everything so centralized with their services, you know. And it's interesting how many different private and public sector, projects and companies are using them. So when they go down, so much of what we use every day goes down with them. But it's the other thing that's interesting is Larry isn't one to post a lot of things that is taking shots. So I think he backs up his words.
I think he did too. I think that was really kind of a cross saying, hey, you know what? You should probably be doing a little bit better with your architecture because you don't necessarily have to be down if you have redundancy created correctly. We're going to be actually talking a little bit more about this in our second segment when we have Nick Espinoza on, specifically some of our dependencies that we're relying upon and what hackers can do and security outages that can happen with that. Story number 2. The first submarine to use new stealth technology 2.0. Now, I went down a rabbit hole finding out information about this. I love this. And this is the best part about TechTime Radio is finding the information out there that maybe somebody else hasn't talked about yet.
Yeah.
Doing the research, finding out exactly what's happening during this. And the Royal Navy's new Dreadnought-class submarine promises to be the stealthiest yet. The first 2 boats, HMS Dreadnought and the HMS Valiant, are already under construction. They are destined to take over Britain's nuclear deterrence for 2030, and they incorporate significant changes in designs compared to other types. So, no, there's not a lot of information because it's new stealth technology. They don't want to say exactly what it does.
Yeah.
But they're saying in the article, when you go through and read a little bit more about it, that you can be within 30 feet away of the submarine, and they have anti-technology that will make it seem like you are shooting through if you're like 30 feet away and trying to see if there's a submarine there with sonar and with radar that will actually still give you a feedback that it's open space and there's nothing there. So
that's incredible.
It is. And you know what? I kind of like, I remember when the stealth bombers came out and it was a brand new technology. So this is something that the Royal Navy is going to be first of its class to have this type of information. And even the United States is a little bit behind on some of their technologies that they have regarding this. All right, story number 3. Top Excel experts will battle out in an esports-like competition this weekend. I had no idea that there was a competition. Thanks, David. So move over, League of Legends. Does anyone even care about Overwatch? No, the real future of esports is spreadsheets and Microsoft Excel.
This is awesome. This is really actually
Yeah, don't believe
cool.
us? Then turn to ESPN3 or YouTube this weekend to watch. They are broadcasting this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, on ESPN3, the competition of Excel spreadsheet individuals. Now, you know what? Sometimes you see cornhole on there, you see poker on there, but when you turn on this weekend, you're going to be seeing people that are sitting on down in the Financial Modeling World Cup that will be held entirely in Microsoft Excel. The finals, quarterfinals, and semifinals matches will all be televised. The broadcast will happen at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sunday, and they're playing for a total prize of $10,000 funded by Microsoft, of course.
Well, it's going to be. It's going to be interesting to see how they make this exciting to watch.
So they're essentially, essentially what they're doing is each round the contestants receive problems that are between 1 to 5 pages long of questions, and they have to fill them out with Excel formulas to answer each of those items. Now,
that's great.
How is that exciting to look at? Are you seeing somebody creating like a gazillion and a half pivot tables and doing this and doing that, and you're like, oh man, I just want to be like that person? Or I mean, I don't know how you get the excitement of this, but it has over 128 participants from every region of the world, and essentially right now, if you're early days consulting, you have the number 1 player in the world. And only to be followed up by Think Matrix employees. So essentially they have employees.
Wow.
They have rankings of employees, and they go through and they create. And you know what? Excel gurus can deconstruct and solve problems from scratch. I really appreciate them. I have a hard enough time just getting all the windows to make the borders around each of the items when I try to put together my stuff. So
Makes you wonder who's doing play-by-play and color commentary for that.
Yeah, what are you going to say? Oh, look at him. The way he moved his mouse over there, and he hit the function key ahead of the other competitor.
All fingers with that function.
That's right. Look at that. So there you go. If you want to check it out, Excel Gurus, this is your time. All right. Story number 4, pandemic tech tools raise risk of everyday tracking. We're going to be very brief on this because we're going to talk a little bit about this. But essentially, a new report group says digital contact tracing apps, artificial intelligence, and other tools that European governments rolled out to combat COVID-19 failed to play a key role in solving the pandemic and now threaten to make such monitoring widely accepted. Authorities are scrambling to develop new technologies during the COVID outbreak. And essentially, they created passports and to verify people have received COVID-19 shots. But now these companies are using automated decision-making technology, which reduces the complex social media skills and essentially is being used to track individuals. The public says that they're concerned about their personal health, but most of all, being tracked and having untested technology being a main focus that will be able to track them around the world. So what's your thinking on that? I mean, being in software, there's a lot of tracking stuff right now, right?
This can be pretty scary. You know, the amount of effort that they can go to find out where you've been or where you're residing or where you plan to be. Even, I mean, it looks back, it looks present, it looks future. You know, I actually look at these things and I go, well, they obviously have it. They can do it. So let's try to find some missing kids, you know, or some trafficked people.
So actually do it so they can actually use it for the good of the thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you can do it, let's go do it all the way.
Well, I tell you, my wife can track me out just because I have an iPhone, right? So she can tell me, she's like, where are you at? Oh, I'm about 15 minutes from home. No, you're not. You're about like 32 minutes from home. Okay, yeah, you're right. All right. Well, Corey, our time is up. We got through our top stories. If you want to learn more about these stories, please visit us online at techtimeradio.com. Click on our episode section or the blog to get more details on the stories and features that we had on today's show. Now it's time to get ready for our whiskey tasting at the break. But up next, we have Ask the Expert segment with our esteemed guest, Nick Espinoza from Security Fanatics, as we have a few issues to look into regarding the Amazon service being down for a few hours this week that affected Netflix, Disney Plus, Ring Central Home items. Maybe he can give us his opinion on tracking apps, as we just discussed in the top stories. And then, how do you stop cyber attacks and phishing? Well, why don't you come on back? We're going to talk to Nick after the commercial break, and we'll all see you here as a part of TechTime Radio.
Hi, I'm Nathan Mumm, host of TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm on KKNW. TechTime Radio's live show is Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m., and you can always check us on the web at techtimeradio.com. Our segmented stylized radio gives you the breaking news before it hits mainstream media. Join myself and Mike Raday as we'll make you laugh.
That's good. So, Hooked on Phonics worked for you, didn't it?
It did, just a little bit.
And learning something new in technology. Join us Saturdays, 4 to 6 p.m., and Thursdays from 6 to 7 a.m. The Technology Show for the everyday common person.
Hi, this is Lisa Downs, host of Reigniting You, the show that takes a positive, forward-looking approach to mid to late career transitions for Gen Xers and Boomers every Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock Pacific. Whether you're looking to stay in the traditional workforce, do your own thing, or retire or semi-retire, Reigniting You is your source for career transition advice, inspiration, and insight for what's next in your career and life. Join me Wednesdays at 3 o'clock to get re-energized, recharged, and reignited.
All right, welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. We just had our first whiskey tasting. Corey, during the break, we got to sample our whiskey pick, and our whiskey is the Warrior Sugar Baby Bourbon. Washington's Warrior Sugar Baby Whiskey is a Pacific Northwest barrel-aged bourbon blended with care along with brown sugar and cinnamon recipe, packed with flavor, depth, and color for a long-lasting finish. It's 80 proof, and it's only $19 a bottle. This is a Wines & More special I grabbed off the shelf. But what do you think?
Well, I am probably not the best connoisseur of these type of things because I'm not a big alcohol guy. I just don't. I haven't gotten into it. You know, I'm mid-40s now, and I really don't have a lot of experience with the alcohol. But this didn't taste bad.
It didn't taste bad.
Yeah, normally I want to spit and when I taste anything, but this stuff actually tasted pretty good.
It does have a really nice sweet taste. So this is not a great. This is a great dessert whiskey, right?
It doesn't taste like fuel.
It doesn't taste like fuel. It's not burning when it goes down. It's a little sweet, and it's got that. So
it's for kids like me.
Okay, well, we're going to try to keep it that way so that you enjoy the whiskey itself. All right, well, we're now going to continue on with our show with our special guest, Nick Espinoza. We're excited to welcome Nick back and start our next segment.
This is a segment we call Ask the Experts.
All right. I know we're bringing Nick up on the phone. There we go. Perfect on the screen. Nick, how are we doing today?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Are you drinking some whiskey there?
Yeah, I am indeed. I've got my old standby this time. Unlike Corey, I'm a little bit into this. But Corey, if you need a good kitchen tip, I've got an excellent recipe for ice cubes I can send you.
Oh,
so let me
beautiful.
know. There you go.
Thank you.
You can't mess up.
Can't mess that up.
Maybe you can.
Put 'em
You
in
know
the
what?
fridge?
Oh, okay, let me just tell you, Nick. That's not correct because I used to fill ice cubes for my wife back into the freezer. And I would overfill them. And then when you
that's the wrong way.
overfill them, then it was completely wrong because when I would go to crack them, they would have that topper layer of it that you don't get out, so you don't get the perfect size of the ice cube. So I can tell you, I can even screw up ice cubes filling them up with too much water.
So, pro tip on that, if you liked iced coffee, make coffee ice cubes for your iced coffee so you don't water down your coffee.
That is pro tip.
Oh, that is a
That's
pro
really
tip.
good.
Right?
There you go.
You know what? That you only get that here on TechTime Radio. If you want coffee information, we got it taken care of. All right. Well, welcome to our show. We got lots of questions. First, this Amazon outage, dependency on so many people with so few providers. Larry Ellison's comment about Oracle in their first segment we just talked about came in, and I really looked. I don't know if you looked in and had a chance to see if Oracle has ever been down. Now, I do know Oracle products. I'm familiar with a product called NetSuite, and it may not ever go down, but it sure doesn't run very quickly. So let me just tell you that way. It's not very, but I couldn't find anything about that. What do you know about the Amazon outage? Give us a little update on what we got that kind of, let's talk about why people are dependent upon such few areas. And did you find anything regarding Larry Ellison's comment?
Yeah, so I'm gonna pair what you said. I did a quick look and I couldn't find any outage of an Oracle product. That said, I'm surprised Larry Ellison would kind of run his mouth in that way, because as soon as he says that, there's a legion of hackers out there being like, really? Game on. So I think he just might have shot himself in the foot sooner than later. But to that point, everything went down with Amazon, and this isn't the first time. They've had outages like this before. The last one was in November of 2020 when, about literally like a year ago or so, half the Eastern Seaboard or half the United States went down on the Eastern Seaboard. And it's everything from like your Roomba doesn't properly function because it can't phone home. Doorbell cameras, Ring Doorbell and others are backbone on AWS stopped working, not to mention every streaming thing. The Associated Press couldn't publish the news for a while, and obviously they were losing billions of dollars an hour. But Amazon is notoriously keeps their cards to their chest and really doesn't explain exactly what's going on. They told us right now that essentially what they have is an automated capacity scaling issue that led to a quote-unquote unexpected behavior on their back end. And so they temporarily disabled that feature, and they say there's going to be a fix in 2 weeks for this for now. And essentially, that's all we're going to know. But it really underscores the point, I think, that when you're looking at essentially the infrastructure that we use, that essentially everybody is backboned on, we lose a huge amount of functionality simply by having one of them go down. And if you think about the original concept of the internet, I actually did a podcast and video on this the other day, is the internet itself is confederated, meaning I can throw up a server and put up my own web page and host my own stuff. But as we've seen this massive consolidation to the cloud, which is essentially somebody else's computer, in the Amazon's case, it's millions of their computers. When we are all moving from, let's say, hosting our own infrastructure capability to the Amazons, the Microsofts, the IBMs, the Googles of the world, we're putting all of our digital eggs in one basket collectively around the globe. And when one of them goes out, it is felt. I think this also underscores, too, that a lot of companies, even massive ones, don't have good contingency planning. And it's one of the things that I talk to when I'm talking with my larger clients is like, well, great, you're hosting on Amazon. Why aren't you replicating that over to Microsoft? So if Amazon goes out, Microsoft kicks in, or vice versa, or pick your backup provider. These things are not really looked at or cost calculated because oftentimes they can be prohibitively expensive for an organization. Yeah. And I think that's another challenge we have to have here.
Yeah, you know what? I do work at a company, and I gave consulting advice to another company, and they actually ended up having AWS and Google's platform as a backup. and they actually have had some problems with AWS, and they immediately switched on over, and they had their DNS rerouted into the Google server. Their web service came back up, their email came back up, and they were fully functional. And I don't think people do that when they do an evaluation of price points, right? They say, okay, well, how much is it going to cost for one cloud service? Well, I expect the cloud service will never be down. They're always being replicated, so I'll just trust that and see what happens.
Exactly. And essentially, by using one cloud, it's a single point of failure. And a lot of organizations don't realize, too, is that, okay, you may have all of your infrastructure sitting and backed up, let's say, on another service, but you're not incurring the massive amount of charges that you are on your primary. This is literally why things like content delivery networks exist. So if one goes down, it immediately routes you to the backup, so you continue to maintain that. I mean, how much money collectively around the world, did corporations lose when Amazon goes out for even an hour?
Yep.
It's a revenue stopping event. It's a massive, massive thing. Facebook went down internally, and they were losing $1 billion an hour, and that's a drop in the bucket compared to what Amazon is. So it's a huge issue that we've got.
They literally had people on the Amazon's service floors to essentially produce the packaging that you get into the delivery drivers, and then the delivery drivers taken on out. They were literally just sitting down and doing nothing on the floors of Amazon because their services and their check-in services and their handheld devices were all at a standstill, and they had to stop everything they did. So that's big time during the holiday season. I'm sure Amazon during any day it's a big time, but during the holiday season even bigger. All right, let's talk. So I'm going to now be all over Oracle, and if the first time Oracle gets hacked in this next 2 or 3 weeks, I will immediately make sure to put it on the show, and we'll talk about it.
I didn't do it for the record, whatever that is.
You won't be doing it. I will, because that was a very interesting comment to say. I don't know if it was a tongue-in-cheek comment, but it got a lot of play. And let me just tell you, I know that Oracle even ran with that a little bit themselves, saying, you know what, our network is fantastic. So we'll see.
Oracle is also losing right now to Amazon.
Correct. So it makes sense.
All of them are, actually.
Might as well poke them in the eye.
All right, so let's talk about Twitter's new anti-doxing policy to get legitimate extreme tracking accounts suspended. Twitter's new policy enables the company to determine whether images are publicly available, being covered by journalists, or adding to the public's disclosure. Twitter is reviewing a controversial policy that penalizes users who share images of other users without their consent. So explain that a little bit to us.
Yeah, so this actually was a really, really noble thing that Twitter was trying to do. They were actually trying to correct essentially anti-doxing. Now, if you're not familiar with what doxing is, it's basically against your will, somebody's putting out things like your home address, your phone number, all these kinds of things that essentially can get you into trouble. I love to say that Twitter is where civility goes to die, and this kind of underscores that. They are trying to combat that. The problem is that as much as that's good, and the exception to that, for the record, was public images, was public things. So if you're at a public event and you have an image of yourself at that public event out there, Twitter leaves that alone. But personal and private pictures of yourself that get put out there are an issue. Now, here's the thing. Twitter is essentially an open platform. Anybody can use it, providing you're not violating their terms of services. This is now one of those things. And so there are a lot of extremists out there, or domestic violent extremists. We're talking like the neo-Nazis of the world. And so by virtue of that, the flip side is there's a lot of activists out there and activist groups that are looking to tag these people as essentially that, meaning, let's take the hood off the Klan member and expose them for whatever reason. Now, what ended up happening was a lot of these just extremists, these violent extremists, decided to get together and coordinate on their new platform of choice, which is Telegram, and basically say, hey, we are being doxxed. And so they flooded Twitter with requests saying, hey, I'm on this Twitter account, basically put my picture out there against my will, take it down, and Twitter, essentially in an automated fashion, was accepting that and then shutting off the actual activists that were tracking the extremists. And so that's essentially what it is. And Twitter basically said that a number of accounts, and in their verbiage, was essentially mistakenly put suspended due to what they called coordinated malicious reports. And so by virtue of that, there was at least one person that submitted 50 in a day, not necessarily of himself. This was an extremist on one of these essentially extremist watch accounts and essentially got them banned. And so Twitter is going back and they're rethinking that. And now they're essentially doing this, saying, well, we're going to review individually to understand that some of these accounts may actually have personal pictures of somebody, but it's in the public interest to actually identify extremists so that it's easier for law enforcement and all of that. And one of the things when I was talking about this earlier this week was that this is going to make it much harder to actually track those people that would actually commit crime or violence in the name of their cause. And that's the balance that Twitter is trying to make right now.
I got you. You know what, though? I'd say, Jack, and Twitter, of all the social media apps out there right now, I think Twitter is probably my preferred social media app. If I'm going to share stuff, they're going to know what's going on. At least I have to subscribe to somebody. At least I have to be interested in the person. I don't have to necessarily always get it just fed to me. So I know that Twitter has kind of been up and down. I'm kind of now on the wave up using Twitter right now. The Twitter and another app that we'll talk about a little bit later in the show here, TikTok too. TikTok and Twitter are my two top apps that I use.
Oh, man, see, I'm LinkedIn.
Are you LinkedIn?
I love LinkedIn.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like LinkedIn too. The only trouble is I get hit with LinkedIn with all the fake spam bots that are out there, right? I mean, I get so many people trying to, I got something to sell you, I got something this, I got something this, that literally I have to go through, and I get about 50 to 100 of these in a week and go and say, no, I don't want to connect with you, no, I don't want to connect with you, no, I don't want to connect with you. So it's become an unpopulated process of trying to get leads and trying to get sales, and I just must be on the list of everybody wants to try to connect with me about incorrect information. So I've kind of slowed down on actually my LinkedIn items there. Okay, well, we're going to have to take a break here, Nick. So when we come back, we're going to be talking about attacks on authentication applications. Essentially, I have a phone and I have a Google app, right? So when I want to log into some banking information, I have to log in and I have to use this Authenticator app that essentially allows me to have access to give a 6-digit code so I can access the information. But there's some encryption items that have been compromised on this. And I'm going to ask you about phishing. Essentially, I'm going to be not talking about fishing with a line and some bait where you go out with your father in the Saturday afternoon and you're trying to grab something, but actual fishing specifically for the holiday season, because I have seen some great fishing items that have come across my desk. I've seen ones that said, hey, you know what? I have a appointment to do a calendar event where I needed to schedule a calendar event in Google. And guess what? It looked so real that I almost clicked on it. And I'm like, well, I don't know if this is exactly there or not. So we want to protect ourselves during the holidays. We're going to take a break. And when we come on back, those are up for you. I'm Nathan Mumm. We got Corey Williams as my co-host. Please join us after this break. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, have you heard of Unidragon?
Are you serious? Of course I know who Unidragon is. That's the puzzle dude.
The true wooden puzzle company that you can get for all of your holiday shopping.
Get the owl.
If you could have one puzzle underneath the tree for Christmas or the holiday season, what would it be, Mike?
It would be a Unidragon puzzle.
That's right. And which Unidragon puzzle would it be for your household?
The owl.
Only get your true puzzle from Unidragon.com. They're the best, and they're the world's leader in wooden puzzles.
TechTime listeners, use promo code DRAGONTech. Again, that's DRAGONTech for a 10% discount code.
Now's the time to go to Unidragon.com. Again, that's Unidragon.com. Don't be fooled by other imitation puzzle makers. Only get your true puzzle from Unidragon.com. They're the best, and they're the world's leader in wooden puzzles. They're no longer 3 sizes, Mike. Guess how many there are now?
They're 4 sizes.
That's right. They're 4 sizes.
Make sure to visit techtimeradio.com/sponsors and click on the Order Now button to go directly to Unidragon.
Our number one sponsor says thank you. All right, welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Corey, how was that whiskey during that break?
Warmed me up.
It warms you up?
Me right up.
Nothing about like a little bit of nice warm whiskey for the holiday season. That's right. Well, now that we got our drinks out of the way, Nick, we're coming right back to you. Thank you for joining us last segment.
Anytime.
We talked about some great items. Now let's get down to the everyday common person questions that use applications, specifically authentication applications. Microsoft and Google's OAuth flaws can be abused in phishing attacks. Researchers have discovered a set of previously unknown methods to launch a URL redirection attack. Again, that's essentially a web link that you get, a URL is the link that you get to have an attack against weak authentication implementation. Explain this to us.
Yeah, so OAuth is one of those things that it's known as essentially, just if I'm using layman's terms, is an SSO platform. And let me explain SSO in a minute here. This is essentially single sign-on. So as part of a greater identity management solution, when you have an authenticator that is connected to SSO, when you log into one, let's say, application or one cloud thing, essentially you get a token, a security token that allows you access into everything else that is connected to that ecosystem. So above and beyond just the standard two-factor authentication, when you're logging into, let's say, one website and you use your username and password and it prompts you for a 6-digit code, which Nathan, you were talking about as well. That's, another one of those things. Something like OAuth allows you essentially to connect multiple websites and you're logging into one place. That actually ends up being more secure in the long term, because let's say you have a compromise of a user for your business or even just yourself. What ends up happening is you can shut off that user via an OAuth or the identity management platform, and it cuts them off of everything, not just the individual sites. So when one of these basically has a vulnerability and is able to be used for an attack, it's a huge, huge thing. Now, Proofpoint, actually, they're a spam filtering company, they're a research company, is actually the one that found this and discovered this and alerted basically the various entities for this. But there was essentially a URL redirection campaign that was targeting things like Outlook Web Access for Office 365. It was targeting PayPal, Google Workspace, all these things. So what would happen is it would look like a legitimate request. And because you are successfully logging in to one of your platforms, meaning let's say you're logging into Google Workspace, but you also have Microsoft Office 365 and you've also got PayPal, once you've logged into Google, you're logged into everything. And so what was happening is, instead of going to a legitimate site like from Google to Microsoft, it was redirecting you wherever the attackers wanted to redirect you. And what was most damaging, this is the core of the issue here, is that because you are trusting the security that OAuth is giving you when you're logging into that Google Workspace and then clicking the link to go somewhere else, you're automatically assuming where you're going is 100% legitimate because you've been authenticated through your security system into the platform. So that fake Office 365 page that you're going to where you're giving your credentials away is going to look exactly actually like Office 365, and you think it's legitimate because you've already been authenticated. And so it's a huge problem. Obviously, the big platforms are aware of this right now, and they're looking to correct this. But I also should point out that this doesn't negate the fact that in the long run and overall, as I've said before, you want to have multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication in your life. You want to have identity management and single sign-on. Ultimately, they are vastly more secure than just a standard login.
They are. And so this breach is one of many that will happen out there as software always gets developed and people take a look and try to exploit it. But it doesn't mean that you should change your processes. You should always use dual-factor authentication. You should always have that additional login password. So when something like this does go bad, it's very, early noticeable in the community itself, so that you can get patched and fixed up so that very few people are hit. Right. Whereas if you just have phishing emails, which we're going to next, and you have different logons. Let's talk about phishing emails, right? So that's like the big thing that happens. Right now during the holidays, I have never seen my inbox fill up with phishing emails like it has, and they're getting pretty sophisticated in this. So I have stuff that's coming in that looks like it came from a friend of mine. It's got their email address. It knows that we last communicated 2 or 3 days ago. So I don't know where they're getting the information. Hey, based on our last conversation, Nathan, we would like you to do this, 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 and this. Now, it probably doesn't help that I have a letter segment. I click on every spam email link to go through in my letter segment. That probably doesn't give me any additional help there. But let's talk about phishing emails specifically for the holiday season, right? People are looking for deals. People are looking for great opportunities. And then there's a whole bunch of information that's out there. Explain to us what phishing is for the everyday common person, and give an example or two of a phishing email maybe that you've seen in the last week or so.
Sure. Absolutely, absolutely. And for the record, Nathan, if your inbox is being filled with spam, I think you need a better spam filter.
Well, see, you know what happens is I used to have a spam filter, but then I did my letter segment, and I wanted to make sure I could click on everything. So my poor Hotmail account is now just trashed. I cannot use my Nathan Mumm at hotmail.com. Right. You can send me whatever you want now, guys. It's just trash. So it doesn't do anything good there. Yeah, it's gone. Lost. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. So yeah, if we're getting back to the topic at hand, as you mentioned, phishing in and of itself is simply this. Somebody is sending you something or trying to get you to go somewhere that looks legitimate but is actually fake. It can get you infected. You can give up personally identifiable information such as usernames and passwords, addresses, anything that I might be able to run either a login scam on or identity theft scam on. These kinds of things have been prolific. And with the exception of COVID-19, which was the single greatest phishing event that we've ever seen in cybersecurity, where every criminal on the planet was essentially using COVID-19 as a lure, one of the big times every single year is the holiday season, and rightfully so. To Nathan's point, we're all looking for deals. The first wave usually comes in the lead up to Black Friday to say, oh, click here for that 80% off TV, or the car that you want, or whatever that is. We see these things constantly, and by virtue of that, we also see a ramp up of attacks on actual email accounts. So if Nathan's getting something that looks like and is from his friend, and it says, oh yeah, last week we talked about whatever it is we talked about, that usually means or can mean that somebody has been compromised, is going through the address book and saying, oh Nathan, oh he's public, let's go hit him. And now they've got all of the history. This is also how business email compromise scams work as well. Phishing takes many different forms. The number one thing that we know about is email. Email is obviously a big one, but it's also fake forms online. And there's also spear phishing, which is impersonation of people, like Nathan was talking about, which is very more focused and all that. We see that in business a lot. But during this holiday season, you're going to see everything from fake Amazon gift cards to fake Best Buy gift cards to fake name your retailer gift cards to fake deals at all of said retailers, or click here for 80% off and free shipping, or any one of these things, or even phishing emails that will alert you to the sense of urgency that you need. So we actually had one that was forwarded to us saying, like, I clicked something, what's going on here? And it actually looked like a big box retail store that officially from them saying, well, we're down to only 50 televisions right now. Due to supply chain issues, please buy immediately if you're buying a television, or else we're done. And that's the flip that we've started to see in phishing now, because we're going through a global supply chain delivery situation. We're starting to see ramp ups of a sense of urgency in the phishing email to simply buy now, buy now, buy now. You won't get it in time for Christmas, or we're running out because it's sitting on a boat docked in San Diego, somewhere, and we're not going to get it in time. And so by virtue of that, it's designed to instill a sense of, oh my God, I'm totally going to miss out on something, in for Christmas or whatever you celebrate. And so here we are. So that's essentially, it's the name of the game. It's holiday seasons, which means the scammers are out in force.
And everybody needs to be careful. It is horrible especially because you had a long break, right? Some businesses will take off a week, maybe give it to employees after the Christmas, 23rd, 24th, through the end of the year. Right. And what happens is the individuals know that the IT group is a little bit lower, that you're not normally in an office. So if you're checking corporate email, you're going to probably have a chance of someone sending you something that's incorrect, that is a phishing attempt during that block time that you're going to be away from the office, and that they're hoping you just click on it so that they can then get access to you while nobody's really paying attention to the office type of deal, and then try to come on in and cause havoc to you.
Exactly. And to that point, I don't think I think in the last 5 years, the 5 holiday season years, I don't think I have yet to see a year where I'm free from getting a frantic call for a data breach.
Yep. No, this is the busy time for us IT security people.
It really is.
It is. So this is our bread and butter time. So, click on that link. I should say it the other way. Yeah. Click on the link so you can.
Please don't.
No, please don't. All right. So we're going to need to end our segment. So where can we find out more information about you, Nick? If I'm trying to find more information, I want to contact you because I did click on a link during the holiday season. Where can I go to find out more information about you?
Yeah, feel free to connect to me or follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, /Nick Espinoza, or on Twitter, it's Nick AESP. I'm also on YouTube /Nick Espinoza, and my radio show's on SoundCloud as well as my podcast and all that kind of stuff. So feel free to connect and hang out.
And subscribe to his Twitter feed so you can get funny little jokes and inspirational information for the weekends. That's what I like to call it there. Nice. All right, Nick, thank you very much. I'm sure we'll have you on, maybe not the end of this year, so we may see you beginning of next year. We're excited, and have a safe and exciting holidays.
You too, guys. Happy New Year.
All right, thank you. All right, well, that ends our segment. When we return, we have the Nathan Nugget brought to us by Story Coffee and Pick of the Day. This has been a great first hour. In our second hour, we have some even more informational items we're going to be talking about and our holiday gift list. This is if you want to buy technology, this is what you need to do. We're going to take our commercial break. I am Nathan Mumm. We'll see you after this break. Hey, Mike.
What?
Have you heard of Elderberry?
Only in reference to a Monty Python movie.
Well, let me tell you, Elderberry Boost. Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
Yes, Mike, that's Elderberry Boost.
You can choose organic Elderberry Boost, that 8-ounce size. That's available on sale right now at $11.99. But you're listening here right now on TechTime Radio, so you need to go to Elderberry. That's ELDERBERRY-boost.com and get some today.
Elderberry Boost.
Elderberry is an all-natural organic immune system booster and antiviral. Elderberry is known to actively fight against viruses, including colds and the flu. It also works as a natural remedy for allergies, cancer, digestion, heart disease, high cholesterol, headache, toothache, weight loss, and reduced inflammation.
It's a natural and healthy diuretic and has many antiviral properties. While it is famous for fighting the flu, it is effective for any illness.
Elderberry Boost was created to provide a quality organic elderberry to their customers. After searching years ago for a perfect elderberry syrup, none could be found, so they essentially created their own homemade recipe.
If you would like to get 15% off your first order of Elderberry Boost, just put in the discount code TechTime at checkout.
Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
You go, hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, have you ever heard of Unidragon.com?
Have I ever heard of Unidragon.com?
Yes, Unidragon.com.
Why, yes, I have heard of Unidragon.com. That's the puzzle dude.
The puzzle dude, that's correct. He has tons of puzzles, and of course, he is the best and original wooden puzzles.
You have owls.
Guess what is the #1 best-selling puzzle?
The owl.
Do you think you had anything to do with that?
No, everybody loves owls.
Well, right now, you can get 40% off in stock if you go to unidragon.com/products/enchanting owl. You need to make sure you get yours today. Now, they also have 2 to 6 days for shipping and domestically ship within the United States. They have a great customer support. If you ever have any questions regarding your puzzle, except for how to put it together, you can email them at care@unidragon.com. If you want to get 10% off, you can use our code DRAGONTECH. Again, that's Dragon, DRAGON, Tech, TECH, for a 10% off discounts. Now, if you want the original, go to unidragon.com. Beware of fakes. Only get your wooden puzzles at unidragon.com.
Get them all.
This is your Nugget of the Week.
All right, Ubisoft's NFT non-fungible tokens announced a video that has overwhelming dislike. Ubisoft Quartz was revealed a few days ago, and folks do not like it. It seems like only yesterday when we reported the Ubisoft's plans to capitalize on the NFT trend, and now what are they doing? They are essentially coming on out with the worst thing to do for an NFT. Using a Chrome extension to restore the YouTube dislikes, which I've done, you can see that the video that they sent out on the Ubisoft Quartz has received over 31,000 dislikes and just over 1,000 likes. Wow. Ubisoft's only announcement was that they will have more information coming regarding the NFT product. Now, let me tell you what the video shows. The video shows an NFT that they consider the code name as digits. So they call it digits. And essentially, it shows gears of pants, helmets, and guns. And it's the same exact NFT, but they're just different numbers. So if I have a helmet, so here's an NFT. I have a helmet. Let's say I got a helmet of my favorite football team. Yeah. But then this, again, is in a shooting game called Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which is a horrible game to begin with. They decided to put this in. But essentially, it's the same picture of the helmet, but instead of it just being uniquely different, it has 001, 002, 003, 004. So really,
they missed it. They didn't understand what the rules were.
No, they didn't, because for NFTs, it shouldn't be the same picture. It should be everything should be unique.
Yep.
All right. So Ubisoft, it's clear, has not done what NFTs should be doing, but essentially it's doing the thing that nobody wants to have done, and essentially created the same pictures and just decided to serialize them and think that
who cares?
What a disgrace. What a disgrace. All right. Well, now we're going to move to our pick today. Corey, we had the Warrior Sugar Baby Bourbon, Washington State. What a thumbs up if you liked it.
I'm giving a thumbs up.
Thumbs up. I will give it a thumbs up also. That's 2 thumbs up. So our whiskey of the day, congratulations, 2 thumbs up. Now on our second hour we have coming on up, we have our Tech Time Holiday 2021 Holiday Guide wish list. You're going to want to listen to this and open phone calls for all of you that are listening and waiting on the calls. We'll get to you next hour. I'm Nathan Mumm. See you next hour.
Thanks for joining us on Tech Time Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at Tech Time Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.
The views expressed on this program are those of
What's up?
Hey, are you bored of TV? Like drugs but can't afford them? Or still paying alimony?
Maybe.
All right, read How to See a Man About a Dog, collected writing. It's surreal. It's strange. It's How to See a Man About a Dog. Get your dose of surreal prose and poetry with this dark comedy collection.
Ebook available on Kindle Unlimited. Print copies are available on Amazon, the Book Depository, and more.
That's right. I'm going to go get my ebook on Kindle Unlimited today.
How to See a Man About a Dog. It combines darkly comic short stories, powerful poems, and pulp fiction prose to create a heartbreaking and hilarious journey readers will not soon forget. Read How to See a Man About a Dog, collected writings, for free with Kindle Unlimited. Ebook available on Kindle, print copies available on Amazon, the Book Depository, and more.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, Nathan.
Hey, do you have low energy? Noticing your energy is lower than usual when you go to the gym? Get answers from the comfort of your own home with Let's Get Checked.
Ooh, I like that.
Low testosterone levels can cause fatigue and low energy levels that are linked to depression. Did you know that testosterone levels in men typically fall about 1% every year after the age 30 or 40? And low testosterone levels can cause fatigue and low energy levels that are linked to depression. Thanks to our sponsor, Let's Get Checked, you're covered. Let's Get Checked is an at-home testing company that makes it easy and confidential to check your hormone levels from the comfort of your home without visiting a clinic or healthcare professional. Here's how Let's Get Checked works. You simply go to their site, order your kit, and it arrives at your door in a small discreet package. From there, you do a small finger prick and send the sample back to their labs with their prepaid shipping label. In 2 to 5 days, you'll get results, and a Let's Get Checked nurse will be available to discuss your results with you if you'd like their feedback. Once your results are available, they'll be reviewed by a physician and released into your online dashboard. If your results are outside the normal ranges, a member of Let's Get Checked nursing team will contact you to discuss your lab report. Let's Get Checked laboratories are CLIA approved, which is the highest ranking levels of accreditation.
The company has performed over 2 million at-home tests. They keep your information and results confidential. Even better, our listeners will get 30% off their entire order with our special code. And of course, it is TechTime. Use the code TechTime at checkout when you visit letsgetchecked.com. Again, that's letsgetchecked.com, and enter the code TechTime at checkout to ensure you and your significant others are staying safe.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, have you heard of Unidragon?
Are you serious? Of course I know who Unidragon is. That's the puzzle dude.
The true wooden puzzle company that you can get for all of your holiday shopping.
Get the owl.
If you could have one puzzle underneath the tree for Christmas or the holiday season, what would it be, Mike?
It would be a Unidragon puzzle.
That's right. And which Unidragon puzzle would it be for your household?
The owl.
Only get your true puzzle from Unidragon.com. They're the best, and they're the world's leader in wooden puzzles.
TechTime listeners, use promo code DRAGONTech. Again, that's DRAGONTech for a 10% discount code.
Now's the time to go to Unidragon.com. Again, that's Unidragon.com. Don't be fooled by other imitation puzzle makers. Only get your true puzzle from Unidragon.com. They're the best, and they're the world's leader in wooden puzzles. They're no longer 3 sizes, Mike. Guess how many there are now?
They're 4 sizes.
That's right. They're 4 sizes.
Make sure to visit techtimeradio.com/sponsors and click on the Order Now button to go directly to Unidragon.
Our number one sponsor says thank you.
Coming to you from the shores of the Pacific Northwest, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics along with special guests to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology News of the Week, the show for the everyday common person with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. I'm Nathan Mumm, and welcome to our show as we live stream in studio Saturdays from 4 to 6 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch from our home radio station at KKNW 1150 a.m. And if you got yourself a little Alexa device, all you got to do is say, listen to KKNW 1150 a.m. and boom, Alexa will take care of that. So Alexa, just pause for a couple seconds.
Tune to KKNW 1150 AM. So now if anybody has an Alexa device by them, they just tuned into
Guaranteed.
it. That's right.
Alexa, open KKNW.
There you go. All right. If you're listening to our show on Saturday afternoon, then you're catching us live. Otherwise, you are going to be listening to a rebroadcast. Make sure you visit www.techtimeradio.com to keep up on all the latest information. Tech Time is a weekly 2-hour technology show that talks about current technology in a simple format. This is hour 2, so if you missed hour 1, you're going to definitely need to go to the website and take a look at hour 1 as we had Nick Espinoza talking about security breaches and our top 5 stories, all talking about the Amazon outage. All right, we are a 2-hour show. This is hour 2, and we are getting ready to start our show.
Now on today's show.
Thank you for joining us on hour 2 of this week's Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm, the weekly technology show that makes you go, On our second hour, we have our Tech Times 2021 Holiday Gift Guide. This is the show if you want the best in technology items from the technology insiders. We are going to be talking about what to get for the holidays. This is the week to start ordering them. You need to listen to our show here Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and then you still have time to order these items from Amazon directly from the suppliers, but getting the best technology items underneath your tree. And you know what? If Amazon has an outage, you're going to want to be ahead of the time because you'll have a couple extra days delay in delivery. If you would like to engage us, we have some callers on the line right now. If you'd like to also ask us a question, all you got to do is pick up the phone and call 425-373-5527 or 188-298-KKNW. That's 188-298-5569 to be a part of the show, and David will put you on pause, and then boom, he'll get you into the show itself. All right, now it's time. We have a special guest here. We have Corey Williams, the inventor of PrizeBox, joining our show today, filling in for Mike Gorday. We have David Brown, our esteemed engineer behind the board, and we are going to start with our loaded question of the day, brought to you by Elderberry Boost. Get your Elderberry Boost today at elderberry-boost.com. All right, here's the question to you. We'll start with Corey first, then David, and then myself. If you were to plot a master heist, what would you steal?
So, do I get away with it?
Do you get away with it? So is
it worth it?
Is it worth it? Okay, you know what? We're going to say that you will actually get away with this. No one will ever find you, and whatever you have the opportunity to take care of and steal, it will be yours.
Okay, I don't know which this would be, but I think some Super Bowl rings.
You go some Super Bowl rings?
I think I'm going to get some legit Super Bowl rings because they're small. I can keep them with me.
Okay.
I can, and they're really cool looking if you've ever seen them.
They are,
They're fancy. So, I think I'd go with some Super Bowl rings.
Super Bowl rings. Yeah. All right, David, we're going to go to you next.
That's kind of the same subject of mine, except forget the rings. I want the Vince Lombardi trophy that's sitting over there over at Seahawk headquarters.
Oh, you want a Vince Lombardi trophy?
I'll take theirs.
Okay, you're going to have to take theirs because they're not going to have another one.
Oh, I know. They're not going to have one this year. We know that.
Or the next couple of years if we have a quarterback. Okay. All right. If I was to steal something, what would I steal? You know what? I would probably steal. So I'm a big Indiana Jones fan, right?
Oh.
So if somebody found like the Ark of the Covenant, I would want to steal the Ark of the Covenant.
The real one or the one that was in the movie?
Well, you know what? I'll take the one in the movie because the one in the movie probably is a little safer than the real one. But I'll take that prop and put that by my kitchen table, and you can eat on that, and then it'd be taken care of. All right. So Corey, welcome to the show. You're the CEO of PrizeBox. Tell us a little bit about PrizeBox before we start our episode here. What is PrizeBox? We had you on a couple episodes ago, and if people didn't get an opportunity to do that, we're glad to have you filling in for Mr. Gorday. Tell us, what is PrizeBox?
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about how maybe people can find out some more information regarding it.
Yeah, so PrizeBox, and first of all, it's spelled with a Y, P-R-Y-Z-E, PrizeBox. It's a mobile app that we advertise products for companies. And so companies typically give away their stuff to get attention. Okay. And so we take all of that stuff and we put it into one easy place for people to find. So if you are looking for something like maybe Story Coffee, and you go there, Story Coffee is going to give you a chance to win some of their stuff. And the hope is that you see it, you like it, and you want to buy some, and we get a small commission when we help make the sale.
Okay.
So anyway, prizebox.com, or you can get it on either the iOS or Google Play Store.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad to have you on the show. We met you about a year ago. We had a Pulse device that you have. You're always into the software stuff. So software guy, cloud-based guy, development guy. Welcome to the non app guy. I'm a technical hardware nerd. So yes. All right. Well, we're really excited to have you a part of our show. Thank you for filling in for Mr. Gourdet, who we wish him a great time on his honeymoon. So hopefully he'll join us back here. We miss him on the show. I know he will be back next week, and there will be a lot of reveals of
and I'll tell all next week. You'll have to clear out time just for that.
Yeah, you know what? It'll be hours and hours now.
His wife will be listening.
I'm sure she will be. So it'll be a little bit. It'll be like, oh, it's the best day ever of my life. All right. Okay. Well, that's great. Well, we're going to start with, instead of normally this time we would do either letters or we would do our steals and deals, but we are going to do the 2021 holiday recommendations from TechTime Radio. We got lots to talk about, so we're going to start this segment now.
Let's look at the top holiday deals for the season with the TechTime wish list.
All right, we got lots of technology items, and we're making sure we had a Black Friday deals, and then we had Mike Gourdet talking about something that was not necessarily technology. So all of our items have been sifted through by myself. I've looked at probably almost all of these items, and we've come up with kind of our holiday list. We're going to start in some technology. we're going to talk specifically regarding a lot of people that are doing video conferencing. So let's talk about some video conferencing at the work from home type of deal. People are getting used to normally working half days at home.
Very relevant.
Very relevant for this holiday because some of these items are very tough to have. Some of these items are elite items, but this will help you with your video conferencing items. I'm going to start with the very first thing I got, microphones. So most webcams have a microphone built in, but the functionality of that makes you sound like very tinny, makes it sound like you're in an aquarium. Normally doesn't come through very well unless you have a high-end Mac laptop.
You forgot the bathroom, too.
Oh, in the bathroom, yeah. You know, it does not really...
Auditorium.
It does not sound really well. But I got a budget-friendly microphone that is available for you for $30 on Amazon. That's right. It's $30 on Amazon. It's the FIFINE, so it's FI Fines USB mic. Does exactly what you need to accurately catch your voice. It's adjustable by positions for off camera and near you. You can order a couple to give friends as a gift. It's a great video calling microphone that sits with a tripod that enables you to have a conversation that plugs into USB. It's not a high-end microphone, but it's one that will be able to sit on the desk in a tripod format and be able to give clarity to your voice. It's the FIFINES, so it's FI Fines USB mic. It's currently available at $30 on Amazon. All right. Speaking of video conferencing stuff, Corey, I think you got the next list.
Yeah. So this is something I didn't even know existed. So Zoom buttons. So these are little controls that are actual physical hardware that sits on your desk, right? And so then you can touch the button to either mute or turn off your mic or turn it on or your video. And so you have control of that, which is really great because normally you're just fumbling around. Where's your
mouse
which
on
window?
Yep.
Where's it at? Where's actually the button? Because there's so many different conferencing solutions out there. So it's you have to be trained up as to where to be on so that you're not always on, but you can mute and everything. So we have a couple at couple different price points. But so the first one here is from Link Ideas. They've got it's these little buttons. They plug into your computer, and it's pretty simple. It works with Zoom. They have Windows and Mac versions, and it's $21 on Amazon. So it's pretty simple. But if you go to the other end, they've got an almost $80 version that has some more LEDs. It looks a little nicer. It gives you, I guess, a little bit more feedback. And that one is it actually says recording in session, so it gives you a little bit more feedback from the app of what's going on. And that one is, I actually don't even see the name of this one, but
So it's a private Etsy.
This is the handmade one.
Yes, this is a handmade one on Etsy.
That's okay. So this is really fancy. So
yes,
yeah,
it is.
It's basically somebody just took and made it themselves, but it's really nice. It's nice on your desk.
And that was originally like $40, and just in the last day it went up to $79.
Wow.
And before today's show, I looked at it and it's $119. So if you go to Etsy.com and you look for Zoom buttons, it will come on up as have that. So this is kind of the hot item for the deal. Now, let me just tell you that top one there, somebody may have ordered one of those for the holiday season.
Oh, yeah? How did that someone work?
Gee, I wonder who that could be.
Yeah, you know what?
Was it Mike?
It was Mike.
No, it was not Mr. Gordy. I actually ordered that a couple nights ago, and so that should be here there. But what's really nice about that is when you're on those video conferencing, normally you're doing something else, right? Let's be honest. You're not really normally paying attention because there's so many of meetings that you have on Zoom.
I am completely engaged.
You're completely engaged. Okay, well,
in fact, I mute it because I want to interrupt and I want to talk so much.
Is that what it is?
It's to protect others primarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so you must be completely different than me because I normally have a different tab up. And then when all of a sudden they say, okay, well, now we'd like to, hey, Nathan, what do you think about it? You're like, I got to scroll to my desktop.
That 5
and I have
second
the
dead
delay.
air.
And they're like, oh, are you there, Nathan?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, no, I'm here.
I'm here.
With this button right here, they can say, so what do you think, Nathan? Boom, I hit the button.
You're on it.
And I'm on it. So, you know what? I really think we should be looking at this and this and this and this. And then I can get back to my chess.
So you've appropriately masked your inattentiveness, is what you're saying. You just hear your name and then you click it. Basically.
So let me just tell you, there's another gift guide that I did not put on here, but it essentially was a
this
video.
is to make the mouse move.
Well, there's a video of what you can do is you can record yourself. I didn't put it in here. So you record yourself in a loop for 5 minutes, and essentially what it'll do is it'll kind of make you do head nods, and it'll do this. And when you're in a Zoom meeting, you can just run this application that makes it look like you're actually there while you're doing it. But I did not put that on the holidays. I didn't think that would be great.
Listen
to get
up.
That. All right.
You got to look for that on the web.
I got one more mic here on my next thing, so I'm going to come on back. We got the Neats Bumblebee Mic for calls and recorded interviews, and this is phenomenal. It's $90 from Amazon. And this is a huge long neck. It looks like one of the, what is it, Pixar's main little lamp logo type of deal with an adjustable arm.
From Beats themselves, like the headphones, folks?
No. It's a Bumblebee Mic. It's called the Bumblebee Mic for calls. And what this does is this sound quality is probably the best right now in the market. It's $90, and this thing is like a huge contraption. It is really heavy, but it gives you the audio mic gains, and it gives you the ability to have built-in ports so you can change your mic. So again, anybody doing any video conferencing during the holiday season, you're going to want to have a portable mic. You got the cheap one there at $30 for Amazon, or the expensive one at Be Like Me with the Neats Bumblebee Mic that's available for $90. All right, continuing on. What do you have next on your list?
I got some webcams.
Okay, webcams are important, right?
Yeah, and I'm not a pro at these. I usually just go with whatever's in the laptop. But I have seen some contraptions people set up because now it's like everybody has their home production studio.
Yep.
Right, they got to be seen, they got to be heard.
They got a green screen in the background.
They've got all the cool backgrounds that they're trying to do. I usually used to put, like when I have to do those things, put scary faces.
Yeah.
Like as the whole back of the screen.
Yeah.
And it's just it's fun. Okay. I like to do that. Well, so we have these are the costs are not cheap on these things. I mean, they're not throwaways, but $100 to $160. But you've got Razer with the Kaio, I believe that's how they'd pronounce it. It's a great way to just step away from the quality of the built-in webcam on your laptop or your desktop. Right, it has solid image quality, and it even has this little light ring that is built in. It helps brighten things up. It's really not, I don't think, going to be able to do as much as a real light. But
I'll talk about light. I got a basic light ring next.
Oh, there you go. But this one's got a little light built in. You want me to go on to Logitech, or
you can do either.
Or so sure. There's another one here. So Logitech has one. I mean, they're known for cameras and everything that's accessories for computers, but they've stepped up their game. They've got this really high quality. They call it the Stream Cam, and it's their attempt to move the ball beyond the productivity centric and just a regular looking one. So They've offered those things for years, but this one's really nice. It's attractive. It has 60 frames per second video, and it's got something they call automatic framing. So I guess that's just they make the view the best that it can be, like focus and just make it look right.
Yeah, instead of autofocus, they actually frame the whole area you're in. So instead of just looking at you, they'll take the whole perspective and decide, okay, what is the best perspective?
Yeah, that's great.
For that?
Yeah, because some of those things don't look too great when you move forward or you move away.
And then it's all blurry, and it's kind of like trying to get up with you. All right, I got two things last, and then we're And then we got our next areas that we're going to be talking about. And I got a light ring. If you're looking for a light ring, well, you had one on a basic camera there. But if you want a high-end light ring, this is essentially a big circular area. You look right through it. Your camera is normally positioned in the middle of that.
Oh, wow.
So you're looking right at it. It is $90, and it's the 18-inch GVM light ring from Amazon. That's $90, 18-inch GVM light from Amazon. Now, if you also want a little bit more of a funky color, my son's into these funky colors. If you want to look for a background color that has temperature controlled, has blues and yellows and all these multicolored deals, you can also look for the Philips Hue Play light bar. It can also be used as a light ring, or it can have other accent colors that are available, and it's $70 on Amazon. And to end this segment, nothing goes out better than a bang than this device that we have. Sometimes you just want to smash that big red button. If you look for Alan Mond's task button is what it's available. It's called the task button. It essentially will, when you hit it, it will actually come on in and have an animated dynamite that blows up the screen as you leave a Zoom meeting. So think if you're in a Zoom meeting, you hit this big red button, all this dynamite goes off, and then it disconnects you immediately from the call itself.
You were looking from this with the Zoom folks you were talking to a couple weeks back. I think you were asking. I thought you were asking about this, but yeah, some way where you can do something and it destroys the screen.
This is exactly it. I found it.
That is super cool.
It's called the task button. It's $55. It is so hot. I tried to get on the list, and then I tried to get on a Premier list. It is essentially now sold out until 2022, but you can get a gift certificate that says you'll end your Zoom meeting in a bang. All right.
That would be great for on radio, because we do Zoom for radio sometimes. That would be perfect radio.
It comes up with your own dynamite exit. That is perfect. That would
drop
be like,
the mic.
Yeah, it's like, see you later. Boom, I'm out. All right, the next thing I got a face cam, a little different. We're going to move into a couple more technology items. A face cam, not necessarily this is used for video conferencing, but just for electronics in general. It's $20. It's 1080p, which means it's high quality HD at 60 frames per second. Essentially, this webcam is called the Elgato face cam, ELGATO face cam. It is not a standard name company, but they have produced essentially the face cam, which gives you the ability of a DSLR for virtual meetings, but it only looks at the high quality of your face itself. Wow. Currently right now available for $200 from Amazon. All right, I think you have another item up there.
Well, I'm stepping way up here. I'm actually more of a Mac person, but and so like the iMacs, they keep getting bigger and better, but thinner. And so right here we're going to talk about the Intel iMac model that in last year's roundup, so that I'm going to we're going to go to the M1 that they announced earlier this year. So with that said, the new iMacs are powerful, they're compact, and they look great. If you want to splurge on someone who's been struggling to adapt working from home, this is a great way to do that. But this is around $1,250.
And that's last year's model, right?
This is last year.
So this is kind of a secret right now. You don't need to go out and buy the newest model. If you want to save some money for the holiday season, but still get a superior Mac, you can get last year's model at a discount price. Now, I don't want to blow anything here, but for my family this year, we are upgrading our phones for the holiday season.
Nice.
Okay? And we are getting the iPhone 12s. Now, everybody said, well, why wouldn't you get the iPhone 13s? Because if you look at the price of the iPhone 12s compared to the iPhone 13, they are like half the price of that.
They're
great
old news.
units.
So that's old news.
What's that? That's old news?
That's old news, but it's cheaper.
It's a whole lot cheaper. Let me tell you, Santa COVID Claus is what I call him this year. But Santa Claus is much happier on his wallet when he doesn't have to spend for the 2013 model because, that was expensive. All right, I'm going to talk about a chair. All great home offices need something, and that needs to have a chair. Now, at my office work, I actually have a chair that's a gamer chair that I've converted for my office chair because I kind of like having the high, tight, normally the back area that you have, the high neck area. But we have a chair here, probably considered the best chair for any office situation. And do you know who it's made by? It's made by Staples.
Oh, really?
You would not figure that out. Yeah, it's been tested. Over 200 chairs have been tested for the home office. For $200 right now, you can get a chair made by Staples. It's called the Heiken Mesh Task Chair. Hyken. It's Heiken mesh task chair. It's perfectly designed, ergonomically designed for your ability to raise it up and down. It's got full functioning of 21 different settings that you can have. Armrests, including the ability to have your headrest be adjustable at 3 different heights. It's available right now for $200 on Amazon.
That's a pretty good price for staple stuff.
It is. Yeah. It is pretty good. All right, you're up next.
Well, yeah, so for me, I'm a laptop guy. I don't typically have a desktop because I'm mobile, right?
Okay.
But my desk, it gets a lot of stuff on it. But here I've got this. It's from 12 South curved laptop stand. So if the all-in-one desktop isn't your thing, just like me, you could actually kind of doll up your desk a little bit with this stand. So there's a lot of different options out there, and they're not too expensive. But this is a simple product. Just basically what it does is it elevates your laptop off of the desk, gives you a little bit more room to work. It also puts everything in a nice position for you to see on your desk pretty well. So anyway, but 12 South stuff, it's pretty solid. So anyway, this is about $60, I think, is what they're going for on Amazon right now. So.
Okay. So you can buy. So be careful if you buy a cheap stand for your laptop on Amazon, right? Because they can have some knockoff stuff for $19, and I actually have purchased that because I'm a little bit of a frugal guy. And what ends up happening is then it doesn't work for like 3 or 4 months later. So then all of a sudden it doesn't hold the area. You're just like cranking in on the area. They are considered some of the higher end stuff on there.
Yeah, it looks really solid. It looks well made.
It is well made. All right. A lot of people ask me. Yep, I got one here, and then Corey has one here, and then we're going to have to take a commercial break and come back to our holiday list. A lot of people ask me, what type of microphone should I use for my podcast? Because I'm creating a podcast. Let me tell you, I have a product that I use. This is what I have in my home studio. This is what I do all of our commercials on. This is what I do all my conversations on that I would do in a stream of anything that I do. And it's called the Technica ATR 2100 USB dynamic mic. This is also doubles as a meeting microphone. It's a great sounding unidirectional mic that has a classic mic look. Again, I normally have a filter in front of it so I can get a little bit less of the vibration of my high syllables, but it's $99 on Amazon. And again, that's the Technica ATR 2100 USB camera. I enjoy them a lot. All right, you got one last item there?
Yeah, one thing which will be a good accompaniment to that one is just the headphones. A lot of people are excited about earbuds, but the over-the-ear stuff is where you get the greatest quality, right? So Bose is, kind of corners the market, but Sony has what looks to be a pretty good alternative. Price-wise, it's about $350, $348 on Amazon, but it's a Sony WH-1000XM4, and it's just has great reviews compared to the Bose stuff. So if you like active noise canceling, the calls that you're on, if you just want to be able to hear everybody really clearly, this is a really good thing. This is a really good model. Plus, it does really well for music, of course.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to need to take a commercial break. We still have more later in the show on our 2021 list that we're going to be talking about. The phone lines are open. You can get on right now at the lines at 425-373-5527. And we're going to come on back. We're going to take those calls. We'll continue our holiday extravaganza, our 2021 holiday gift guide. And we'll see you after the commercial break. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Do you know the average person can sweat 463 pints per year?
Oh, that's gross. But I've totally been there, wiping my sweaty palms on my pants before shaking hands.
I can remember standing in front of a group of people about to do a large presentation and looking down and seeing those sweaty pits. Man, that is the worst.
Did you know that deodorants do nothing for sweat control? It's like putting a scented candle in your pits. And we just don't sweat under the arms.
That's right. We don't. We sweat all over. Yeah, that's what's cool about Carpe. They have not only created a revolutionary underarm antiperspirant, a lotion loaded with sweat control, Carpe also has a full line of sweat care for everywhere.
Founded by two guys who had sweaty palms their whole lives, Carpe was created with dermatologists and people actually diagnosed as excessive sweaters. So you know it works. Whether you want to avoid a sweaty brow, underarm stain, smelly feet, below the belt sweat, Carpe has a solution.
They sure do. And they have a full, no question asked money back guarantee for the first 60 days. Not 30 days, but 60 days. Find their full line at mycarpe.com.
That's mycarpe.com, mycarpe.com. And for a limited time, use the code TechTime to save 15% on your first order. From now on, we will only sweat in the gym.
Life can get sweaty, but Carpe keeps you dry. Visit them at mycarpe.com. Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. We are continuing our segment of our 2021 gift giving items, but we have a couple callers on the line right now. We want to get to them. David, do you want to cue them up?
Yes. Okay. We have Alyssa on the line first, and her subject is about TikTok. This ought to be interesting. So, Alyssa, go right ahead.
Hey, yeah. So I just downloaded TikTok, and a bunch of my friends were saying it's a bad idea because of privacy, but I was wondering what the actual difference of that app as opposed to any of the other social media apps that people use are out there. I was wondering if you could give me some insight into that.
Sure, we can do that. So TikTok, we actually talked a little bit about it the first hour. What do you think about TikTok, Mr. Williams?
Despite my, the desire to not be like every 13-year-old girl out there, yeah. I joined TikTok to see what it was about. And it's actually my favorite social app right now.
Is it?
I actually love it. It took a couple weeks for it to figure out the stuff I like, and it gave me a bunch of stuff I didn't like right up front. But now it sings my song. I love it.
You love it? Yeah. So let me just tell you this. I hear this all the time. How dare us have an application in the United States that is owned by China, right? I mean, so the backers of TikTok are Chinese, and that's the company that created it, and they've spun it off a couple times. And I look at them and I kind of cross my eyes and say, really? So you're telling me that you're concerned more about this application that's in China than you do about big old Meta that's taking every single thing that you do, Facebook and Google and all these other applications that are taking all the information out there. As I say, for all social media apps, I don't think there's any difference between TikTok's privacy issues, even though it's developed by a country that's outside of the United States, than it would be if you're using Twitter, if you're using WhatsApp, if you're using any of these other social media apps to communicate. Understand that everything you're doing is being tracked.
Yep.
So if you're concerned about privacy and you don't want to be tracked, don't have social media. If you have social media and they're giving it to you for free, they're giving it to you for free for a reason. And the reason is because they're tracking what you do. So I have no concerns when people say, oh, geez, how can you be using TikTok? How can you be using these other apps outside of the United States? I don't think the United States is any better than any other country as far as tracking information.
They all have the same purpose.
They all have the same purpose. So enjoy what is available to you. So that's my information there. All right. You have another one, David?
Yeah, we do have another caller. This is Jessica, and her subject is about the Bluetooth. Jessica, you are live on the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, so I recently updated Windows 10 on my computer, and I'm trying to connect my Bluetooth headphones, but it appears that Bluetooth has just completely disappeared off my computer. Any fixes for that?
Oh, is there any fixes for that?
Oh, yeah, use a Mac.
I was almost waiting for that. It's like a volleyball, right?
Yeah, that was
it was right there. So if you do have, I have actually experienced this also. If you're having problems with window items when you have an upgrade, there's this thing called Device Mangler, or it's called actually Device Manager. But in the tech world, we call it Device Mangler. But if you go and you click on the bottom left-hand corner of your Windows computer, and you use not your primary mouse button, which is normally by default your left mouse button, but you use your secondary mouse button, which is normally the one on the right side. You click on that on the Windows deal, it'll actually bring up an option to have Device Manager come on up. Once you click on Device Manager, you'll see there's a bunch of items listed in there. And people are like, oh, my word, this is really, really, really scary. Well, let me tell you, Windows 10 has the ability that once you remove something, if it finds that it's in there, it can reinstall it. So for Bluetooth, you're going to see underneath your device manager, a Bluetooth area. And what you do is you go underneath there and delete the Bluetooth driver. So you just highlight what's available there. Sometimes there's 4 or 5 different lists. You click on that and you delete those items, reboot your PC itself, and then it will reload those drivers and fix your Bluetooth issues. That's normally what I have to do on the Bluetooth. And you know what? With a couple Windows updates, you may have network drivers, you may have video drivers that have issues, and even some Bluetooth options on some of the upgrades. So you always want to make sure you can just go in there and delete the drivers, and it will go out there and reload the drivers correctly for you upon the reboot. Now, just because you delete the Bluetooth drivers or you're scared, well, I may lose something, nope. It's just going to be a device driver area that will actually reload that again. Or, as Mr. Williams said, you can get yourself a Mac PC. All right. Thank you for the calls. Is there any more on the line there, David? No, that's it. Okay, well, we're going to continue then again on our 2021 gift holiday extravaganza. The next thing I'm going to be talking about are some kid gifts. Now, these are kind of what I would consider more of the educational kid gifts. And I really enjoy looking through some of these items. I'm looking at a couple things here for toddlers, right? And there's a colorful coding train playset that is touted as a teaching tool for tots that learns early coding concepts and puzzles. It's called PAI Technology, P-A-I Technology. It's $90, and essentially what it is it's a train track that goes around. You add these action bricks that include stop, turn around, make noise, and essentially what happens is the sensors of this app will allow the car to be powered by a battery and cause it to brake, switch on its lights, generate sound effects, and include additional items that are available. If you want to start your kids at a young age, it's the Botsy's Toddler Coding Train Set by PAI Technology or PAI Technology, P-A-I Technology for $90 on Amazon. All right. Mr. Williams, you have something else up there for the kids?
Yeah, they call it for teens, but it's more of like 12 plus. But this is pretty cool. So MBot has, or Make Blocks has this device. It's called an MBot, and it's a programmable, remote-controlled, all-terrain robot rover. And so it's what you do is you construct it. It comes all apart. You build it, and it's and then you program it with the hardware that's included. So they give you all of the instructions of how to construct it. A bunch of projects that you can do to have fun with it, but it utilizes the Arduino hardware, so you can code with IDE or Scratch, and it's really great way to get young kids into really to whet their appetite with coding and seeing how it comes out in the real world. It's really neat. Let's see, this guy is about $130, so you can get that at Make Block.
Make Block, okay.
Make Block.
All right, so the next thing I have here, this is Kinder Labs, made by Kinder Labs. It's $199 on Amazon. It's ages 4 to 7s. It's the Kinder Lab, the Kibo 10 Home Edition. Essentially, this is a 2-wheeled vehicle that allows you to put coding blocks. These are kind of look like the ABC blocks that you would have had as a kid where you rotate left and right. And essentially, this has those blocks that gives the robot the ability to start in segment 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it can have it go forward, reverse, turn left, turn right. And you essentially program it by putting the blocks on top of the device itself. It's multifaceted, intended to inspire engineers, designers, artists, and writers to begin the basics of coding. The Kiba 10 Home Edition pack contains the Kibo robot with a drawable faceplate, wheels and motors, and a scannable card for creating Kibo programs. All right.
Well, this next thing is probably one of the coolest things, whether you're a kid or you are a big kid, right? The Raspberry Pi. These things have really
these are awesome.
Changed how access to computing power, programming, what you can do. I've seen people use these little guys to automate their chicken coops. I mean, it's some neat stuff. So for a budget-friendly but really endless exploring challenge, why not throw your teen into the deep end by getting them a Raspberry Pi? It's low cost, the microprocessors, it's great for the science, technology, engineering area, right? So new for 2021, it costs, check this out, $15.
15. Is that the Raspberry Pi Zero?
This is the Pi Zero 2W.
Okay.
But it packs a punch. It's got a quad-core 64-bit ARM Cortex A53 engine clocking at 1 gigahertz. And it's got 512 meg of SD RAM. It's just an amazing little computer that you can do all sorts of things with. So you can find this anywhere, but $15.
$15.
It's so crazy.
You know what? I like Raspberry Pi. So you know what you can do with them also? You can load ROM emulations up there and simulate. Never mind. Don't be doing that, kids, because that will get you in trouble. Make sure you own the ROMs. But if you did have a device and you decided to load a software on there, you can probably play some old-time video games on one of those Raspberry devices.
Thousands of
or maybe thousands of those.
Old games, okay.
Yeah. I don't know anything about that.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
Just hypothetically,
that's right. If you buy yourself an Arcade this holiday season and decide to modify it, all you got to do is look at Arcade One modifications on YouTube, and they'll tell you what to do. All right, I'm moving on to something a little bit unique. This is called the Ultimate Itty Bitty Builder. It's a 2.0 coding robot bundle. It's a STEM learning toy. It is called Botley the Coding Robot. Botley the Coding Robot. It's from the Learning Resource. The Ultimate Coding Robot bundle comes with last year's robot, which is Botley 2.0. An expandable program interaction adds color-changing eyes and night vision for line sensors and darkness, plus tons of accessories. It's $94 from learningresources.com. It's not on Amazon. Ages 5 and up. $94 from learningresources.com.
That's great. Well, this is a pretty cool thing. I'd never heard of this, but it's from the folks that they're called Adafruit.
Okay.
ADA Fruit. So they have what that's called an Ada box. And this is a quarterly, basically every 3 months. It's a subscription service where you get electronic projects, and they're already curated, and you won't know what they are when they come, but you can be sure that it's going to challenge you. So now they say that, it's designed for all makers of all levels, but a special focus on folks that are just starting out with tutorials and videos and help all in a learning system all along the way. But imagine every 3 months getting a box of who knows what you're going to end up doing. And it's $60 a box. You got to go directly to them. So Adafruit. And so anyway, it's great. I think it's really cool.
That's kind of fun, right? It's a gift that keeps on giving, right?
Yeah.
As Clark Griswold would say.
Yeah.
In the
better
holiday
than fruitcake or
that's
the
right.
jams.
Or any of those type of deals. But essentially, you can have that taken care of. That's perfect.
Yeah, but with the learning system and everything, it seems like you won't get stuck.
You won't get stuck.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, I got my last one, and you got one more left. So I got the Lego Education at-home STEM learning bundle. So do you know that Lego has extended its learning legacy into electronics for years, but now Lego makes the Lego Education STEM learning bundle specifically for STEM. It's for grades 5 through 8. It comes with different processes to interact with your Legos, and it comes with programmable Lego items. Now, the Lego just did a big competition. It was on Fox, and it was like season 2 or season 3 where they do these big Lego competitions. But essentially, this gives you the Brick Q Motion Prime set that really creates a creativity, and it allows you to have a whole bunch of programmable items within the Lego system itself. It's available at Lego or at Amazon for $550. So this is when you're into Legos and you want to have the best system, that's it.
I've been trying to wrap my mind around the one that I've got here. What does this thing do?
The Pico system?
Yeah, what is this thing?
So the Pico system, what does it say here? So so games can be coded on the Pico system using a variety of different languages, including C++, Python, and the official Pico system APIs is designated to be lightweight, easy to use, and essentially this is a handheld device. If you look at it, it's kind of like an imitation controller with an LCD screen in there.
Oh, that's a tiny, golly.
So it's a controller.
There's a real small screen. I get it now.
Yeah. So it's like a controller. So it's kind of an imitation, what do you want to say, the Nintendo Switch.
It's like the Nintendo controller, but it's got a little tiny screen right where the start buttons used to be.
Correct.
Yeah.
And what it does is it allows you to program and code, and they have about 150 games out there. They have Brick Brothers. Have you heard of Brick Brothers?
I haven't.
So again, it's a total knockoff of Mario Brothers.
Okay.
But the Brick Brothers is pretty. You can play it on any PC.
You can play it on an Apple PC. You can place it, and essentially it's coding where you can kind of create your own maps. You create your own levels, kind of like the new Mario
Minecrafts I see. You're creating your own
levels of different items available there, and then you have that available handheld for a pretty inexpensive price to be able to code and have your games available for you.
So the Adafruit folks, those guys sell it. It's $80 on their website, but yeah, it took me a moment to wrap my mind around it because it's the technology, especially for kids, it's getting so immersed that from those of us who have a little gray hair, we've gone from nothing into something amazing, and it's hard to imagine my little kids running around
basic
coding,
10
coding
right. You take 10 right. Print hello 20, say hey, choose between 1 and 5.
It's
random
amazing.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, well, you know what, we got through a couple callers. We finished our 2021 gift items, and when we come back, we have almost 90 minutes of our show done. We got about 20 minutes left. We're going to have a story that is going to make you go, oh my gosh, I need to do this before the end of the year. I got all these end of the year items we're going to be talking about on what we found on the web. So join us after this commercial break. I'm Nathan Mumm. We got Corey Williams here and David Brown behind the board.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
Hi, this is Lisa Downs, host of Reigniting You, a new show here on KKNW that explores a variety of topics and timely issues for making mid to late career transitions. I'll be here every Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock bringing you guest interviews, career transition advice, and great stories to guide you to what's next in your career and life. Gain a renewed sense of purpose for your next phase with a positive, forward-looking approach. Get ready to be re-energized, recharged, and reignited Wednesdays at 3 o'clock.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, are you bored of TV? Like drugs but can't afford them? Or still paying alimony?
Maybe.
All right, read How to See a Man About a Dog, collected writing. It's surreal. It's strange. It's How to See a Man About a Dog. Get your dose of surreal prose and poetry with this dark comedy collection.
Ebook available on Kindle Unlimited. Print copies are available on Amazon, the Book Depository, and more.
That's right. I'm going to go get my ebook on Kindle Unlimited today.
Hey, babe, I hear that you can download a new voice on Siri.
No way.
Yes, it's true. It's a voice that goes, hey, you big hunk. What do you want to do and where do you want to go?
Stop it.
Oh, come on. Okay, I'm kidding.
What has tech ever done for our relationships?
We can't talk about that on the radio.
If you want to eavesdrop on juicy conversations that no one is having around all things love, sex, and relationships, join us right here, 1 p.m. on KKNW and wherever you get your podcast.
We look forward to seeing you in the Love Shack.
How to See a Man About a Dog. It combines darkly comic short stories, powerful poems, and pulp fiction prose to create a heartbreaking and hilarious journey readers will not soon forget. Read How to See a Man About a Dog, collected writings, for free with Kindle Unlimited. Ebook available on Kindle, print copies available on Amazon, the Book Depository, and more.
What we found on the web.
All right, what we found on the web. We have a few news stories that will become a part of the mainstream media in the weeks to come, but you're going to be limited because of their end-of-the-year items that will end at the end of this month.
You got to get on it.
You got to get on it. Well, at the end of the month, this is the start of a brand new year. What are things that you should always take care of?
Oh, you always change out your smoke detector batteries.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yep.
That's good.
Get that done. That's real world stuff, not big technology, but it's important.
All right, well, let me just tell you, if you use Bitdefender as your antivirus, the free version, you got until the end of the month until they go for full premium price.
Oh, start charging.
This is what happens to software companies normally when they start struggling for sales. They change their free stuff. Normally their free stuff's available there, and they start struggling, and they say, oh, you know what? We're going to charge for something. And then probably 2 years from now, Bitdefender will be bought out by somebody else, and they'll be a part of another free service. But if you have your computer protected against the latest antiviruses and you need to have it protected by Bitdefender, you need until the end of this month for the free edition of Bitdefender Antivirus
that will soon be expiring. Make sure you get it upgraded to the full version. Prices range anywhere between $6.99 to $19.99 for their anniversary edition to be purchased. All right.
Wow. Beginning
on January 1st, 2022, Bitdefender Antivirus Free Edition will officially be discontinued and no longer available for use. All right, next thing that you need to do on what we found on the web before the end of the year, very important, you need to go to the Epic Games Store. If you do not have an account right now, go out to Epic Games Store, and sign up because they're going to give away 15 free games over Christmas. This promotion starts December 16th and runs till December 30th. The Epic Games Store will reportedly give away 15 games, and they'll be offered one free game per day, with the kickoff being Shenmue 3 that will be available on December 16th. Now, Facebook and Instagram are rolling out their personalized year-in-review features. So if you want to go and
here it comes.
Yeah, if you want to go and make yourself, well, Meta now is releasing these, right? So Meta, formerly known as Facebook, has rolled out its year-in-review featuring for both Facebook and Instagram. On Facebook, users can share their personalized year-together card and highlight their friends and feelings and places. Now, on Instagram, users can create a custom end-of-the-year playback time capsule of their most important stories. The feature leverages the story archive so users can customize and select up to 10 stories to share with their followers. This is only available, and this feature is available this week, and it will be available till the end of the month. Make sure you spend all of your time on Meta's infrastructure and allow them to know what most is important to you so they can target you for the upcoming 2022 year. All right.
Sounds like sarcasm.
That was a little bit of sarcasm. You are correct. Next thing, are you a Pokemon Go player?
I am not, but my kids are.
All right, here you go. Pokemon Go holiday events.
Uh-oh.
All right, this starts December 16th, and it ends December 31st. It features the Pokemon character and festival outfits, including a new collection challenge, research tasks, and new trainer outfits. Only available December 16th through the 31st, and it's called their mobile game holiday kickoff.
Well, I'll be in trouble if I don't tell you that it's called Pokemon.
Pokemon?
No, Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Yes. I mean, that's
not Pokemon.
Well, that's what I say, and then they throw something at me. So it's
Pokemon.
The diehards call it Pokemon.
Pokemon. Okay, sorry. Pokemon Go holiday event.
There you go. Now they know what you're talking about.
Now they know what
until that was said.
That's available. All right, so you got to get all those stuff taken care of before the end of the year. We got you some free video games. We got you an antivirus solution that will only be good for the end of the month. And now, after we got that segment, we're going to move into what I always consider my highlighted segment, and this is called This Week in Technology.
And now, let's look back at This Week in Technology.
All right, I love that. You know that violin that is
was
just
that
like
you?
No,
Oh.
no. That's just like old school. You know, you got that kid back in grade school learning to play the violin, and there you go. December 10th, 1993. This is the most influential video game of all time. Do you know what it is?
I think I know what you're going to say, but I've never played it.
So you've never played it.
I don't even know this game.
December 10th, 1993, ID Software releases the video game called Doom. Doom, video game creator ID Software released the game Doom. Doom is considered one of the most influential titles in video game history, popularizing the first-person shooter. Did you ever play the Wolfenstein?
Oh, Wolfenstein, for sure.
Okay, so this is like the upgraded version of Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein came out from ID.
Yeah.
And then Doom was the first deathmatch multiplayer mode game on the internet with your 24 1600 baud modem.
This would have been all Windows stuff, right?
And it was Windows.
Yeah.
It was it used graphics with violence and a little bit of satanic imagery that made the game the most controversial, including legislation to ban the game itself. It is considered to have served the most popular audiences of all time, and Doom's popularity is second to none as the generation that created an immersed multiplayer environment for individuals to play. All right, well, that pretty much is going to end our 2 hours. Mr. Williams, I appreciate you being here. Did you have a good time on Tech Time?
Yes. Yeah, thanks, Nathan. Thanks, David.
Yeah, we had a great time. Now, remember, if you need anything about PrizeBox, you're the CEO of PrizeBox. Where is that website available again?
It's PRYZE Box, prizebox.com, or on Any app store.
Any app store. So go to
Yep.
Google App Store.
Yep.
How about a Windows Phone?
Oh, well, no.
No, okay, all right. I don't know if anybody has Windows phones anymore. Anyways. Well, I am Nathan Mumm. Welcome to our show this week, and we're glad to have you for all 2 hours. We got David Brown behind the board, Corey Williams to your side. Have a great day.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment in technology today. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service from Apple to Google and everything in between. And also signing up on our YouTube page, where you get to see us live in video. Yep, you can see us chat and have some fun. It's youtube.com/TechTimeRadio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily